Good morning, traders. This is a live trade recap. I've taken 4 trades today. 1 position is still open. The 3 already hit my profit target. So this is my second day in a row trading this new plan, a new strategy, and it's also my second green day in a row. So I have 7 trades under my belt now with this strategy, and green 2 days in a row. That doesn't mean this thing works. I want to see at least 100 trades or more where I keep the win rate above 33% because I'm trading all or nothing 2R. So that means whatever my risk is, my profit target is 2 times that risk. So it's a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And because of that, I only have to have a win rate of better than 33% to be profitable. So if I take 10 trades, if 4 win and 6 lose, I'm still profitable. So that's kind of cool. So let's take a look at the trades. First, as always, I start with Webull, open on the Markets tab. I look at top gainers, 1 day, click on all. Organized by volume, I'm only interested in the top 10 stocks. I have this list up on my laptop the entire time that I'm trading. You're looking at my desktop right now. It's very helpful. In fact, I would not be able to trade like this if I had to go from my watch list page back to the screener and so on and so forth. There's a lot of things happen very fast at the market open. So really, time is of the essence. Even today, even trading like this, I missed a few entries that pulled back and were able to get me in where I wanted to on the original entry, and I'll show you those. But it just goes to show you this is a very fast-paced way to trade, and probably not good for brand new traders, but you can definitely learn something from watching this. So having said that, the top 10 stocks, they must be lower float. So anything lower than 100 million shares, just so happens this one is right at 99, 100 million shares or less I'm interested in. My absolute max is 110. That way, because if you say, hey, 100 million shares is my max, what if you see a one that says 102 or something like that? That's my alarm to tell me to stop looking for trades. Where was I at? So yeah, anything lower than 100 million shares. And then what if something is 105 or 106? Are you going to say, no, I'm not going to look at that. It's so close. So I make my absolute cap 110 million shares. And then anything that pops up here that's not in the top 10 that's suspended, I'll also add that to the list, because often when stocks go into suspension on the way up, they will attract a lot of volume. And when you're coming out of suspension, if you can catch them on a pullback, it's almost a guaranteed win, or could be. So let's take a look at the video now, and we'll see me building the watch list first here. I'm going to go through this kind of quick. I always put out the high of the previous day, and if I don't see the price trading above the high of the previous day, then I don't take an entry. So here's my first entry. You can see ADMA broke out through the high of day. This is actually the first entry that I missed as well, because my entry got triggered right here actually. So when this candle broke through that previous high, that is my time, my signal to look for an entry. And then on this candle, it consolidated, so that's a pullback. Even though it's a green candle, the top of that candle is lower than this one, so that's a pullback. And my first entry would be for the break of that candle, which happened on this green candle here, and I missed that. But as long as my profit target hasn't been hit, which it hasn't, because basically this is my entry right here, this is my stop loss. So you see that length there, the profit target would be 2 times that length above that level. So it would be somewhere way up here. So obviously the profit target hasn't been hit. So as this thing comes down and comes back to that level, I can get in, because it amounts to the same trade. And that's what I did. Let me try to show you the entry there. So actually it came down a little bit lower, then started to go back up. So I hit my hotkeys when the price was at the level where I would have entered. And I think my ideal entry would have been 243. I got in at 244, so it's really like a near perfect entry. And then my stop loss is exactly where it would have been if I would have gotten in right here on this candle, so the stop loss is the low of this one. And then you saw me use my 2R calculator. I showed how I set up these hotkeys yesterday, so there's a video if you want to see how those hotkeys are set up to throw out these orders. And I have the default setting for the profit target and stop loss at plus 20% for the target, minus 10% for the stop. That way they get thrown out there very far away from where the price is trading, so I can't get stopped out or my profit target get hit before my real profit target is hit. And then as soon as I put in the numbers in the 2R calculator, I can move them in to their appropriate levels. And that's what I did there. So that's trade number 1, ADMA. that thing is fully automated now, so I can go and look for other trades. I don't have to worry about ADMA because that's a bracket order, and only two things can happen at that point. My profit target gets hit or my stop loss gets hit. So here's the second trade, CLOV. This one I also missed the entry on. So again, this is showing you how difficult this is to catch these entries when they first happen. At the market open, there's a ton of volatility. It's 9:36 a.m. at this point in the video. So things are moving very quickly, and it's really hard to catch these on the first entry. So again, like I said before, as long as my profit target hasn't been hit or my stop loss before I've gotten into this trade, I can get back into it in the same price where I would have. So like 981 would have been my ideal entry. It would have been on this candle. I did make a little mistake that I didn't notice when I was in the trade, but I noticed it after. This is my second time trying to make this recap video, so I noticed it in the last attempt, and I'll show you what that is. It didn't make a huge difference, but this was a successful trade, but it would have been an even better trade had I not made this mistake. And you might have caught it right there. Is you see where I put my stop loss, which is just below the low of this candle? That's actually the wrong place, because my entry would not have been on this candle, it would have been on this one. And my plan and my strategy says that the candle that I enter on, if its low is lower than the previous candle, then that has to become my stop loss. So my stop loss would have actually been 960, and you're going to see where my profit target was because of where this stop loss is right now. 982 is the entry, 963. So 1020 is my profit target. And actually, I think I may have moved my stop loss up 1 cent after I got into this. So my actual, because look, I checked the low of this candle. So now I'm hovering over the low. The low of this candle is 965. So I decided to bring this up to 964 just to reduce my risk, because that's what my plan says anyway, is that I should be 1 cent below, unless it's like an obvious price level where people will place their stop. So for example, like 965 is an obvious level where this thing could come down and bounce off of. So I wouldn't want it at 965 because that's a round number. So now I have changed my stop loss. So my profit target's 1018. Now, had I done this correctly, my stop loss, like I said, would have been 960, and my profit target would have been, I believe, 1026. And I have that on the chart already just because I checked to see would that have worked still, and obviously it would have, because here's where my my stop loss would have been down here, and then my profit target would have been up, I guess not too much further away, but like somewhere around there. And obviously it got hit, this thing has not come near my stop loss at all. So either way, it would have been a successful trade. I just kind of goofed that up in the moment, but that happens, especially when you're taking all these trades. I ended up taking like 4 trades, I think, before 9:45 or something like that, maybe 3 before 9:45, and then 1 more a little later. So there's a lot going on, and it's very easy to mess up. So this is not, this is why I'm trading with 1 share for now, because this is something kind of new for me. This is basically the way I was trading in the pre-market, and I've been doing that for like 5 months now. But the pre-market is much slower. Things happen much slower, and it's much easier to keep up with everything. So that's why I'm only trading with 1 share until I prove not only that this strategy and this plan works, but that I can execute it. Because who cares if you have a blueprint for a foolproof strategy that that, okay, this strategy and this plan works. Every month I'm going to be green if I trade this strategy and this plan. If you can't execute it perfectly, then you're not going to be green. So that's what I'm doing right now, is not just proving this plan and this strategy, but proving that I can execute it properly. So obviously on CLOV, I messed up there, and that would reduce my P&L for the month because of that. So that could make the difference between a green or red month. All right, so BOXL looks like the next one. It popped up on the list, and you can see that it's trading above its previous high right now at this moment. And so right now I'm just waiting for the first pullback and the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. Okay, now this is something else really interesting. See, I had all these stocks up. What is this? 12 stocks at one time. So I decided let me take a look at the 16 chart view to give me, a wide view of what's going on, and see if any of these stocks have been triggered. entries have been triggered. And I pull this out. I don't normally look at this. I keep it on 4 charts. And I start looking over at CLOV and I go, oh, wow, look, I missed an entry there and that thing's running. I didn't even realize that was the last trade that I placed. So the point here is that when you're on the 16 chart view or the 9 chart view, you're not going to see your positions. You're just going to see your lines on the chart and the candlesticks and indicators and things like that. Same is true with the 9 chart. So 4 charts is the only way you're going to see your position. So that was kind of a new thing I learned today. So there we are, back to 4 charts, and you can see my CLOV position right there. And BOXL just broke out above that red candle, so that's my entry, and my stop loss is just below that red candle. Again, I'm using my 2R calculator to to find out my profit target, and I just drag these down. So that's a really cool feature on Webull, is that you can just grab the little bubble and drag it down, and works pretty well. It's much easier than modifying your order or typing it into the trade widget. Let's see, I just want to make sure I don't miss any more entries. I think I'm just checking everything out now. I know there is one more trade that I take. Looks like I have 3 going at this point. So I just go back through the stocks on the watch list to see if any have triggered entries, and also keeping an eye on my laptop. Okay, here we go. NEPT, that popped up. This was kind of a weird trade because, you know, it's debatable. So that looks like the high was somewhere around here, and there's, you know, it's hard to tell right away. Was there a pullback that I missed? And I believe this is really the first pullback, and that's part of my strategy and plan, is I can only take the first pullback. There's a couple of candles that are at the same level here, but there's none that are really below the previous high. Obviously, actually even here, there's double top, but this is below the high of the pre-market anyway, so I couldn't take an entry there even if that was a pullback. So this should be the first pullback. This is the trade that I'm still in, NEPT. This one's chopping around quite a bit. It's come down near my stop, but hasn't stopped me out. And I believe we're still in it because I haven't heard any dings while we're making this video. We'll check on it before the video ends. Okay, so there, BOXL, you can see, excuse me, BOXL, excuse me. Sorry about that. BOXL is now headed toward my profit target. I'm already so deep in this video, I don't want to start again. So sorry about the throat clearing. But NEPT, like I said, that one I'm into, and it's chopping around. This is at about 948. So yeah, I basically took 4 trades, 4 positions from 930 to 945. And it's hard to tell through this video, but I was pretty burnt, you know, mentally after doing that, you know, just going through all these different stocks and flipping through all the pages on the watch list and trying to get the right entries and noticing, okay, I missed some entries, trying to get them on the way back down. It's pretty mentally fatiguing, really. So originally my plan for this new, or my strategy, I guess, for this new plan was to look for trades between 9:30 and 10:30. I figured, you know, that's the peak of the market open. But after today, I decided to close that window to 10 o'clock. So from 9:30 to 10, because after that, I'm pretty spent. It's really difficult to, at least at this point, maybe, you know, as I get more experience trading this way, I'll feel better about it. But there's something about the market open, and this is why I really enjoyed trading the pre-market, especially when it was hot, is the pre-market is very slow. It's very, usually very predictable. This month it hasn't been, but the previous 5 or 6 months, it's been very easy to trade, easy to make money with, and at the most, there's 2 or 3 stocks on my watch list at one time, or 2 or 3 trades going on at one time. I never have more than that, and so this is a very different feeling, this trading the open. I'm sure, as you know, if you've spent any time trading at all, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of kind of nervous energy when the market opens, because you just see everything exploding, and it's just not, I guess it, you know, kind of wears on your system. So here I am just kind of going through, making sure there are no entries being triggered. and it's getting close to 10, and I think I'm, at this point already feeling the fatigue and already thinking about stopping looking for trades at 10 o'clock. So let's just scroll through. So we see ADMA. I know ADMA hits my target. Oh, this was an interesting one. JG just had popped up in the top 10 volume, but I missed my entry. This one is very obvious. It's kind of like what I was talking about on NEPT. But here it was very obvious that I missed my entry, so I wasn't about to press my luck and take a later entry, and actually that would be breaking my plan and strategy. And one of my rules says that if I knowingly do that, then I have to stop trading for the rest of the month. Right now there's only a couple trading days, but still, this is all about discipline, sticking to your plan, your rules, and your strategy. Otherwise, you don't know if what you're doing works. So that part is really important. So I'll show you where the entry was. It broke through the high of the previous session right here on this yellow line, and it gave a pullback right here. So the entry was right here for the break of this red candle. It doesn't look like it would have been a very profitable trade because this only looks like 2 or 3 cents. So I probably would have made 6 cents, even though this thing's, ran like crazy. I just trade based off of the chart. So at this time, this is the only information I would have. I wouldn't know what would happen later. But anyway, yeah, so this is a missed entry. Even this second pullback I can't take. I only take the very first pullback because that one has the highest probability of hitting the 2-hour profit target. Once I've missed that entry, like I said, as long as it doesn't hit the profit target, if it pulls back down, then I can get in. But obviously this thing has gone way past the profit target at this point. So this is a missed opportunity, which that is going to happen, and you have to get used to that. That is all part of trading. You're going to miss a lot more opportunities than you catch. So you have to be fine with that. And really the best thing to do, this is me just checking the status of everything, but the best thing to do when you realize you missed an opportunity on a ticker symbol is just remove it from your watch list, because otherwise you risk FOMO kicking in, fear of missing out, which means that you might take a lesser setup. You might break your plan, your rules, or whatever, because you feel like, oh man, look at that beautiful run and I missed it. Maybe I can get in on the next pullback. And you do, and you get stopped out, and then you feel really bad and really stupid because you took an entry that you shouldn't have. And once in a while, you're going to get lucky and that's going to work out. And that's actually a worse outcome because your bad behavior is going to be rewarded, and you're going to think you can get away with that continuously. And you'll find out sooner or later that you're going to end up red in the long run doing stuff like that. So here I'm just checking out my orders. If you look at like where it says buy, and then I guess this one was still open. Let me find one that was closed. Okay, here, CLOV, you can see that that it filled the buy order, and then it filled the sell order down here. That's proven by this timestamp. Down here, you can just see the buy order with a timestamp, and there's no timestamp for filled time on the sell. So you know that CLOV is already done. That hit the profit target. I'll show you all these orders on the actual Webull at the end of the video. So there's JG. Now I've just put some lines on the chart just to kind of mark out that theoretical trade. I actually did it wrong too, because the entry would have been down here. So I don't know what I was thinking there. Look, that's just more evidence of how mentally fatiguing it is when you're trading the open. I'm not even thinking clearly here, even though this isn't a real trade. So just look at how difficult this is. It's almost 10 o'clock, so obviously I'm already getting worn out mentally, and I'm not thinking clearly. So I definitely shouldn't try to push my luck and look for entries all the way to 10:30. That's crazy. Even if there's nothing, if I end up not being able to take one single trade from 9:30 to 10, and all the stuff happens after 10, who cares? Because look at the damage I could do if I continued on. I mean, I'm already making poor decisions, even with these fake trades. The one I'm just talking about, the JG one. These are not fake trades. These are just one share trades with real money. This is better than paper trading for so many reasons. So there you can see ADMA just hit my profit target. Much better than paper trading because you're not only using real money, so you feel like, okay, I've got some skin in the game, even though it's only one share. You get a much more realistic feeling than you would with paper trading. But you also don't get the weird anxiety that you feel when you know that, okay, I'm doing something that I don't know if it's going to work or not, and I'm using full position size. That isn't a smart thing to do. And then the other thing is you can't even use these bracket orders with the paper trading account. And I don't know how other platforms work, but with Webull, the only orders that they have available for the paper trading account is the market order and the limit order. You can't use hotkeys, you can't use stop losses, you can't use bracket orders, none of that stuff. So it's not a good way to learn to trade. It's better to, once you just have even the basics down, just start trading with one share to get a feel for things, and that way you can use the actual tools you'll be using when you're really trading and start collecting data on what works and what doesn't work. All right, so the last trade here is NEPT. I think all the others have now filled, and you can just see how it's chopping around. And I actually got tempted because I thought, you know what, I just won 3 trades. Maybe I should move my stop up and get out of this trade. But that's really a stupid thing to do, because the main reason that's a dumb thing to do is because it's not part of my plan, not part of my strategy. I need to follow the plan and the strategy no matter what. And it says that once I have a trade out there, there's only 2 possible outcomes. Either my target gets hit or my stop loss gets hit. It doesn't even matter at this point. This would be a 5-cent loss, and I've already made like 50 cents or so. Again, I know that P&L is ridiculous, but for the test trading purposes, you get the point there, is that either way I'm going to be green. Once I'm trading with full position size, it'll be the same thing, just scaled up. So you see NEPT now broke out of this resistance level, and it looks like it's going to hit my profit target. So I don't know. I don't think it did yet. I don't think it's hit either. I know by the end of this video, but you can see me here. I pulled up my trading plan, and I decided to change this number of trades thing where I said I can take trades from 9:30 to 10:30. Originally I changed it to 10 because, like I said, it was pretty exhausting mentally. So let's take a look and see where we are right now on that trade. I'm pretty sure I'm still in it. Yeah, so still in it. It's in the green right now, but it's obviously still moving between my profit target and stop loss. But it's looking pretty promising still, because it's this, obviously there's a consolidation area back here. It broke out through that consolidation area, and now it's starting a new one. So it's more likely to hit the profit target at this point, but it can still, of course, come down and hit my stop. We don't know. The volume looks like it's kind of dwindling a little bit, so it's going to need some volume to come in and push that price up. But that's definitely possible. And like I said, either way, this is going to be a green day, and I'm going to have a win rate at the minimum of 75% on this day, and the maximum will be 100% if this trade works out. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you got anything out of this, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, no matter what, first of all, you got to have a plan before you get into a trade, and follow your plan and your strategy 100% of the time. Always take your stop losses no matter what. Honor your profit targets, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.